Como ça va, YouTube? Danny here, Cajun Hydroponics. It's raining outside. Of course, I got the day off and it's raining. This morning we got prepared for the tropical storm, crystal ball or whatever it's called. We got ready for it. We shouldn't see a whole bunch where it's at. It's going to be basically a teaser and a test to get ready, get everything going. But since we had the day off and there ain't much going on, I figured I would do some cooking and we could do the video with it. We're gonna make some smothered cabbage. I was talking to Mr. Chris the other night on the phone from Homesteading the Hard and we were talking about how he don't like cabbage. I sent him some seasonings and he put it on there and he actually ate cabbage with the seasoning on it. He was pretty impressed. Some Tonys. Go check him out. He's from North Carolina, by my partner Mr. CB. From CB's greenhouse. They're about an hour apart from each other. But go check him out. But anyway, off the subject. He was talking about how he don't like cabbage, and he told me how he did it. So kind of told him how we do it, and figured, well, we just will cook some cabbage. I'm hungry for some cabbage, so we're gonna make some cabbage. Can't do much else in the rain right now. So we got everything cleaned up off the ground, ready to go for the storm if the water comes up, and we're gonna do some cooking. Today we're gonna do cabbage. Tomorrow we're gonna do. So my cabbage recipe is pretty easy. We use cabbage and bacon. You can use smoked sausage or smoked tasso or pork chops, pork, anything pork I like in the cabbage. Today we're using bacon. It's been a while since I've used bacon. We picked up a 10-pound box of bacon for $13. So we're gonna go ahead and knock out some of that bacon. In the back, you can see the Boston butt. We're gonna be using that. But that's it. I'm gonna be using 3 small heads of cabbage and about a pound and a half of bacon. We're gonna start with about a pound and a half of bacon, maybe 2 pounds, I don't know. I'm gonna cut it up into small pieces. You can see the bacon's cut. There ain't no set way, set size, anything like that to cut the bacon. You just take it, cut it how you like to eat it. With cabbage, I enjoy it a little bit smaller, bite size, and it's gonna shrink up real small once you start cooking it. But you just put it in there like that, comme ça, fire it up, let it start cooking. You don't want to cook it on too high of a fire. I like to cook it till it's cooked but not crispy. So I'm gonna put it on about a medium-high fire, and let it get started. Then I'm going, right now I'm gonna start cutting the cabbage up. So at this point, we cut the edge off of the cabbage, cut it in half, then cord out the stem, I guess you'd call it. And then we're gonna take this, cut it about half, 3/4 inch sections all the way across, and come back and cut it about the same way. So you see, went across in about 3/4 inch sections, then I came back in about 2-inch sections. Cut it like that. All right, so we're still cutting cabbage, but at this point, the bacon has been cooking, well, like 5-10 minutes. After I cut it, I put it in there. You see it's starting to get soft. It's cooking. We're gonna give it maybe another 5 minutes. Like I said, we don't want it to get hard. So as soon as we finish cutting up that cabbage, we're gonna throw it in here. Be back in a second. Okay, so at this point, all the cabbage is cut, like we talked about. The bacon is still soft, doing good. We're gonna just add, sorry about that. When it gets to the point, we're just gonna add to the bacon. We're not gonna pour any bacon grease out. It's about ready. The bacon's gonna cook more as you're cooking the cabbage down. So, just take the cabbage and dump it in. Super easy. Try not to waste none. I wasn't very happy with the cabbage. Had to cut off a lot more than I wanted. Whoa, taking you for a ride. All right, so take that. Stir it in. Get that cabbage on that bacon. Now at this point, the cabbage should have plenty of water in it. Sometimes they're a little dry and they'll start sticking to the bottom. You don't want it to stick too much. So we're gonna put the lid on so we don't waste the juice that's in it. We're gonna put the lid on right now and let it cook probably 5 or 10 minutes. And then we'll be back. Okay, so it's been a couple minutes. I stirred it a couple times. It's hard to see, but way down at the bottom, that bacon grease is starting to stick. So what I'm going to do right now is add some water. With the tasso and the smoked sausage, you don't have to. But with the bacon, you want to add a little bit of water. Kind of scrape that stuff off the bottom. If you don't get it off the bottom right now, it's going to taste burnt. Eventually it's going to start burning. So, tell you what, that Cajun gravy spoon, can't live without it. A good cooked Cajun, you gotta have it. Anyway, you just take that and clean the bottom of the pan, move the stuff around and clean. Anyway, what you're gonna see now is the cabbage is starting to fall apart. Some of the bigger pieces, you know, that the tighter packed are still holding together. There's nothing wrong with that. It'll help cook some a little bit different. Some will be a little crunchy, some will be a little softer. Look, there's a big piece right there. You know, as you stir it, it falls apart. But right now what we need to do is add some sugar. You won't taste the sugar, but you want to add some sugar. If you don't, the cabbage will be bitter and won't taste good. Trying. We're not spilling. Oh, I'm spilling. Oh, my queen's gonna be mad. We're gonna take 2 tablespoons of sugar. And pass it on top. Telling you, you gotta put the sugar. It takes the bitterness out. If you don't, you're not gonna like it. Everything from the seasonings get in it. Oh, look, my hand's in the, doggone it, my hand was in the picture. Anyway, you just take that 2 tablespoons. I don't think you can put too much, but you know, that's what I normally put, 2 heaping tablespoons. And stir it in, and you just let it cook. And I don't have a time because it'll be different every time, but I'll come back and check it. I'll be stirring it every 2-3 minutes, making sure the stuff on the bottom's not sticking and everything's doing like it's supposed to. And I'll video a couple times when I do it if I have anything to say. But you don't want to season it with your seasoning until everything's broke apart like you want it. The more broke apart it is, the less seasoning you're going to need, the more flavor you're going to have per bite. With the seasoning, my go-to is lemon pepper and garlic granules. And I know we use Tony's a lot, Tony Sacheries. If anybody wants to give it a shot, I love hearing other people saying it. There is no wrong way to say Tony Sacheries. Mr. Chris was saying it the other night. You know, I love hearing it. Even down here, everybody says it's different. It's amazing how one word can be changed so many different ways. Anyway, Nunu's is a local meat market, grocery store. That's my favorite right now. I use the Nunu's, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of lemon pepper. Chow! It makes everything so good. Okay, so at this point, most of the big clumps have been taken apart. The cabbage is soft, but not ready to, I mean, you can eat it right now, depending on how you like it, but this is where I like to put my seasoning on. So right here, we're going to add the Nunu's, the garlic granules, and the lemon pepper. You season it to your taste. I don't really, ooh, that's a lot. So, anyway, about a tablespoon is what I normally start with. I'll put it in there. Tablespoon of Nunu's. Stir it in a little bit. Then it's probably a 1/4 tablespoon of lemon pepper. And about the same on garlic granules. Whoop. It ain't coming out real fast. It looks like a lot, but it's not. Quarter tablespoon. You'll stir that in. Take that. Let it set and cook some more. Just keep stirring. And just like that, it's done. The only thing I did is, well, I mean, you can cook it down more. I like it to have a little crunch in it. A little soft, a little crunch. But the only thing I did, I added about the same amount of seasoning again. It wasn't quite seasoned where I wanted. You could probably add a little bit more sugar. This cabbage right here still has a little bit of bitter taste. I should have tasted it before I started with the seasoning, but I didn't want to mess it up. So anyway, it tastes good. I've had like 10 of them little bowls right there. Getting ready to sit down and eat some when the queen gets off of her vacation of taking a nap. Wore her out today, cleaning up for the storm. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Y'all grow that. Later.